You'll see here I'm aging my doll with instant coffee. It takes a couple of teaspoons. Let's mix it up with some water in a paint water container and use a large paintbrush to age your doll. Don't worry, the smell will eventually go away. You can see here I have a lot of scraps of fibers and ribbons that I'm going to use to sew some crazy hair on my doll. You'll want to use these needles that have the large eyes so that you can get these larger fibers through the needle. The problem is that these needles are really too big to go through this regular cotton fabric, and even if you put it in a regular needle, then the fibers, the ribbons and things like that are too thick to go through the fabric. So the solution to this problem is find some embroidery floss that blends in with your doll and use a regular needle to create a running stitch across the front of the top of the head of the doll. This is where you'll be able to sew on the larger fibers, scraps of fabric, ribbons, whatever it may be, you can get it through here. Just don't forget to tie it on really good in the beginning with several knots, and then when you get done, tie it off in the end. Otherwise, your hair all may come apart later on. So now you can see I've got a running stitch there where I can thread those big fibers through. You can do as many rows as you need to, and now you can see I am using the large needle with the large eye, and I'm easily able to get the ribbon through there, and I simply slide it underneath the running stitch. And you're not really sewing, you're just using the needle to get it underneath there, then remove the needle and tie on your hair pieces. If you want to use a larger fiber, such as a scrap of blue jean, cut the end into a point, and then you can just slide it through the large needle a little bit easier and then thread it through your running stitch. You can see here I'm doing one more row of the running stitch, and that gave me enough hair to look like the doll has a full head of hair. We also have some of this fake fur in the classroom, and you can see on the bottom it's actually attached to a woven piece of fabric, so you simply cut away a little piece of it. And what I did was I put a little dot of glue in the middle just to hold it still, and I let it set for a couple hours, and then I sewed it on. You can see here I got a little bit too much glue, but we have some Q-tips in the room, and so I just used a little Q-tip to lift off a little bit of the extra. To sew on the fake fur, I went back to using regular thread and a regular needle, and I just simply went around and around in the same spot on both ends of the fur and tied several knots to hold it still. And remember, you can also sew on other things after your doll has been stuffed, such as beads and buttons. Simply use regular thread or embroidery thread, and just think about how you need to maneuver the thread to get the beads or buttons to do what you want them to do, tying them on with secure knots. I found this doll pattern at itsalwaysautumn.com. Thanks, Autumn. These are great patterns.